I recently came upon a Naruto short that pretty much talks about how the story of Naruto was actually going to be a lot different than what we ended up getting, about how Naruto was actually supposed to be the son of Kurama, how he was going to bring the demon realm and the normal people realm together. There was no chakra, but there was magic, there was motorcycles, and it was very strange. But one thing that I definitely liked about that concept was the idea of Naruto actually being the son of Kurama. So that's where I thought, what if I take that concept, add my own spin to it, and drop it as a what if. So here we are with what if Naruto was 1/3 Kurama's son. Now, why 1/3? Well, stick around to the end of the video to find out.
Hey Ross, sauce it up.
To start our story off, first I have to cover how Naruto is even gonna be Kurama's son. Well, in the intro, you guys heard me talk about how he's only going to be 1/3 Kurama's son, and that is pretty much just going to be because Kurama, while Naruto was pretty much being born and being created inside of Kushina, Kurama would have essentially been pumping a large amount of his chakra inside of the baby while Naruto was being conceived. And so that's how he pretty much ends up coming out the day that he's born on the Nine Tails attack with orange hair, much like the Nine Tails. Then we pretty much have everything leading to Naruto's parents' death go down just like it would in the original. Except this time, Kurama intended to kill Naruto literally just to be petty to Kushina and Minato for the fact that he was trapped inside of her for all those years. Not only that, but just to be petty to Minato in general, because the reason that he did that to Naruto and pumped chakra in was due to the fact that he wanted to make Minato mad and kind of throw a giant FU to them. Does that make sense? So basically, when Naruto was growing up, he would slowly end up realizing that Naruto being 1/3 his son could actually be a good thing. And by he, I mean Kurama. Because, I mean, think about it. You're the father, technically, of this kid that's born. He has no other parental figures, and he's pretty much treated like garbage by everybody else in the village. So you have a very good opportunity to leave a strong impression on this child. So here's what I personally think would happen. I think that basically Naruto is going to be talked to by Kurama around the age of, let's say, 6 years old. Naruto at this point has practically lived about 2 whole years of being treated like absolute garbage by the villagers and overall just not treated the way that he should have been treated. Eventually, Kurama would pretty much finally get into contact with Naruto by using his voice and being like, Naruto, Naruto. Naruto would follow the lead of the voice and it would lead him inside of his own mental mindscape, where he ends up encountering Kurama in a gigantic state, but instead of looking opposing or threatening, Kurama would simply look down at Naruto behind his cage and not even try to pierce at him with his claws. He would simply tell him that he's grown up a lot ever since he last saw him. And Naruto would wonder what he's talking about, which would lead Kurama to tell him that he's his father, that he is his friend, that he will always be there for him. And after Naruto hears that, he would immediately ask what he means by that. He's a fox. How could he be the son of a fox? Kurama would then begin to explain that he is actually 1/3 Naruto's father, because when he was being born, a massive amount of his chakra was pumped into Naruto. He would look to Naruto and ask him if he thinks it's funny that both of their hair have a very eerily similar color. Naruto would look at his hair and he would immediately realize that he's kind of right. They do have the same hair shade. Naruto would then look up at Kurama and Kurama would tell him exactly. Have you never wondered why that was? And why your eyes are that of purple instead of blue like your father's should be? Naruto would ask what he's talking about, and Kurama would pretty much begin to tell him that his eyes were actually originally supposed to be blue, much like the eyes of the 4th Hokage. After Naruto hears that, he would begin to question what he's talking about, and Kurama would explain that Minato is his father. Minato is one of his fathers. And Naruto, after hearing this, would wonder to himself why the villagers treat him so poorly if he's the son of pretty much royalty in the village. Kurama would explain to him that the people of this village are pretty much just terrified and that he could help them understand if he just frees him. Naruto looks towards the direction of Kurama, right? And he's about to essentially undo the seal. When he takes it off, Minato would appear right in front of him, and he would essentially begin to tell Naruto that he should not take the seal off, that Kurama is not to be trusted, that he's lying, that he's his father, and yada yada yada. This would lead a bunch of doubts into Naruto's mind, and he would begin to question the fox, which would lead the fox to pretty much begin to try to start over again, right? A couple of months later, Kurama would still continue trying to talk to Naruto, and Kurama would explain that ever since he was little, he's been hated by people, that nobody's truly looked at him like something other than a demon, that he's not even a demon, he's just chakra. And Naruto would begin to ask what chakra is, which would lead Kurama to pretty much begin explaining that chakra is the thing that ninjas use to create their awesome abilities and attacks that they use, such as fireballs, lightning attacks, wind style, earth-based jutsus, and water styles. This would lead Naruto to pretty much essentially begin to slowly learn about chakra control through Kurama. And because Kurama wants to pretty much appease to Naruto as much as possible, to pretty much lick his boot to make sure that he can pretty much take that seal off, he would essentially try to tell Naruto how to begin getting stronger. He would begin teaching Naruto how to use his chakra properly, how to mold it, how to use jutsus. Not only that, but most importantly of all, he would not mess with Naruto's original chakra flow. Because without Kurama messing with Naruto's chakra flow, Naruto probably would have had way better chakra control and would have likely mastered the Shadow Clone Jutsu in an instant, because he's the son of a prodigy and Kushina Uzumaki. Like, don't play with this boy. Not only does he have the chakra of Kushina within himself, but he literally has 1/3 of Kurama's chakra inside of him, on top of another 1/3, because of the fact that 1/3 of it also went to Minato, 1/3 was kept by Kurama, 1/3 was kept by Naruto. He has his large Uzumaki pool, he has his large Namikaze pool, and Naruto, when you just add all that chakra together, you pretty much get an infinite supply of chakra that's never really gonna run out. I mean, Kurama's chakra lasted like an entire week or something like that during the war. I know it wasn't a week, it was like a couple of days, but seriously, like, it might as well have lasted a week with how much chakra Naruto was able to just dump out like it was nothing. Bro was handing it out like treats on Halloween. It was insane. But yeah, pretty much Naruto was able to essentially have a lot of chakra, mold it easily, and Naruto, learning from Kurama, would actually spend a lot of his time with Kurama within his mindscape. Anytime that Naruto was sleeping, Naruto was pretty much inside of the mindscape with Kurama, training on his chakra control inside of his own mind, pretty much doing image training in his head, right? And beginning to try to learn how to use these incredible jutsus, such as wind style, which is the first thing that they would focus on due to the fact that that is one of Naruto's affinities. His other affinity would actually be the fire affinity, just because, I mean, Kurama, he's like a fiery beast. He's not actually associated with fire, but I'm just gonna associate him with it just because, I mean, Kurama, look at his fur color, and then just look at the way that his personality is. Come on now, you don't get any more like close to what his chakra nature would be than fire. So we're just going to be saying that Naruto's other affinity is fire. And through these couple of years, Naruto would pretty much end up growing up actually getting closer with Kurama. This would actually make Kurama's ideology slowly change, realizing that he finally has somebody in his life other than the Sage of Six Paths that looks at him with genuine care. Kurama's hatred would slowly dwindle as someone finally didn't look at him with hate or fear in their eyes, but love. and this slowly changes Kurama's perspective on escaping. He continues to overlook Naruto as he slowly becomes accepted by his class for being powerful, and even slowly begins to be noticed by his teacher and Hokage alike. He's about 1 year from graduating, and Naruto is among one of the strongest genin to ever have lived. He's even being asked to become an Anbu or Jonin or something like that, but Kurama tells him he's not mentally ready for that, not wanting Naruto to go down the path of darkness, much like many other ninjas before him have. Seeing these kinds of things from the eyes of Kurama and from the other Uzumaki that was the former Jinchuriki of Kurama, Kurama, being Naruto's father, would slowly begin to actually get some real care for him. And unlike in the original, Kurama would grow fond of Naruto way earlier than he would have in canon. Think of this more as a, what if Kurama and Naruto were friends from the start, right? This is kind of what if Naruto befriended Kurama, but it wasn't because Naruto befriended him, but because Kurama was the one who was originally trying to befriend him to escape, but now his intentions completely changed. I mean, he got close to Naruto, and he's seeing that these villagers can actually change. Slowly, the people around Naruto would begin to slowly have their hatred and fear dwindle away just because of how utterly incredible Naruto is. They begin to look at him as somewhat of a phenomenon, I guess you could say, because Naruto is just growing so rapidly, becoming so powerful and becoming so likable early on that it's almost incredible to see how powerful Naruto is. Not to mention that one thing that Naruto still has yet to even use is the power of the Nine Tails himself. Now, obviously, if Kurama didn't have the seal placed on him, he would actually be able to go into KCM. But the fact that he doesn't have the key, which is something that many of us probably didn't know, and that I didn't even know before starting this what if, is that apparently Jiraiya has the key to the seal within Naruto, and for Naruto to actually rip the thing off, I'm pretty sure Naruto needs the key. So he won't be able to access KCM until he gets the key from Kurama. I mean, from Jiraiya, which is not going to be for another like 2 parts or something like that. So yeah, maybe one, maybe one. But anyways, regardless of that said fact, Naruto would advance a lot in the academy, and one of the people who definitely sees Naruto as a rival would be that of Sasuke Uchiha. Eventually, 1 more year would pass, and Naruto at this point would already have all of the natures pretty much hand down packed, just due to the fact that Kurama, somebody who's been alive for thousands of years, would definitely be able to teach Naruto a thing or two about chakra control, about water walking and tree walking. That stuff is pretty much second nature to somebody like Kurama. It's as easy as breathing. So simple. Not only that, but Naruto would also be able to actually get a summoning contract from Kurama himself to the land of the foxes. That's where Naruto's going to be learning his own personal form of Sage Mode. He's going to be learning Fox Sage Mode, and that is pretty much what we're going to be going over, maybe next part or the 3rd part of this installment. That said though, we're immediately going to cut over to the day when Iruka's handing out the teams to everybody. He's telling everybody who their Jonin senses is going to be and what team everybody's going to fall in line into, right? Mizuki obviously would still try to get his hands on the scroll of sealing, but due to the fact that Naruto doesn't fail, he pretty much tries to go do it on his own. He ends up getting caught and is established as a traitor nin and pretty much put under the watch of that one guy in the Naruto story. I forgot his name, the interrogator guy, right? The guy who does all the torturing and stuff like that. He's put into the eyes of him, and essentially what we would end up getting is a really crazy scenario where we pretty much have the situation go down of Naruto being put on Team 7 with Sasuke and Sakura. Yeah, why not? I mean, I was gonna change it to like Hinata or Ino or something like that, but I stopped to think about it and was like, you know what? I already have Naruto as the son of Kurama. I don't need any other things to change in the story. So I'm just gonna keep Sakura there, even though she's a walking garbage can. But we're just gonna keep Sakura there, and we're gonna continue on with the story like if it was something regular. So obviously we're then, from this little point on, we're pretty much going to be getting into the point in time where Kakashi essentially walks into the classroom. Now Kakashi, being who he is gonna be pretty much walking in about 3 hours later, and this time around he's not gonna be walking into a trap or a prank like he would have in the original, just due to the fact that Naruto is, well, not a prankster this time around, or at least not as much. At the current moment, he's pretty much passed out in the back of the classroom with Sasuke wondering what Naruto's doing, why he's always sleeping. But Naruto would simply be hanging out with Kurama at this time, and Kurama would be laughing with Naruto, telling jokes, until eventually Kakashi comes to him, is about to tap him on the head, but Naruto's eyes would open wide as he grabs Kakashi's arm, and then he immediately says sorry for that, but he doesn't like being touched when he's sleeping. And Kakashi's like, noted. From here, he tells them all to go upstairs, and Kakashi would begin to use the body flicker to make his way to the top of the building. Naruto would make his way up there, and eventually all of them would begin to pretty much tell each other their goals. It's at this moment that Kakashi would pretty much begin to have a strange feeling about Naruto. Something about him feels odd. Something about him feels different than the other students. But he would not ponder on this, and eventually the introductions would go down just like they would in the original, leading to the very next day and Kakashi's warning of, if you guys eat anything, I'm gonna make you guys throw it up. They would all immediately tell Kakashi that they're not gonna eat anything, and the very next day, they would pretty much end up meeting at the training grounds. Kakashi would arrive and say, sorry I'm late guys, I got lost on the path of life. But now that I'm here, I can finally tell you guys what we're doing today. Sakura looks at Kakashi and is like, what are you doing with those bells, Kakashi sensei? And Kakashi would eye smile at her before then saying, that's exactly what I was about to explain. Look, here's the deal. You guys have until 12 a.m. at noon to take these bells off of me. You guys can use any means necessary. You guys can try to kill me, and I advise you do, or else you're not going to get anywhere near the bells. 2 of you are only going to be allowed to pass. 1 of you will be sent back to the academy. And Sakura, Naruto, and Sasuke would all immediately realize that this is definitely serious. And all 3 of them would pretty much begin to mentally prepare themselves for the battle that's to come, right? All with the exception of Naruto, who would pretty much be told by Kurama himself inside of his mindscape that this is all a test to find if they are good teammates. So the point of this exam is pretty much to get them to use teamwork to get the bells, not to actually take the bells, saying that most people would never even be able to get close to the bells, that it's about teamwork, not about actually completing the task. And after Kurama tells that to Naruto, Naruto smirks, knowing what he has to do now. Naruto would immediately go towards the direction of Sasuke and Sakura, and he would try to get Sasuke to work together with him to try to get the bells. He would ask Sakura if she's willing, and Sakura would say, well, I mean, if Sasuke is okay with it. And the second that Naruto would go to ask Sasuke, Sasuke would immediately pull a, get out of my way, Naruto. I'm gonna get those bells by myself. Naruto tries to explain to Sasuke that he doesn't understand that the point of this is to, but Sasuke cuts him off and pretty much ends up just running off towards the direction of Kakashi, trying to blindly and aimlessly take those bells from him. He rushes in with the Lion's Barrage, followed by a Fireball Jutsu, and he would pretty much try to get Kakashi off guard, which he would quickly realize is not going to be happening. Sasuke, even though he is pretty talented for a genin, is nowhere near the level of Kakashi when he's not even trying, so Kakashi would simply stomp on Sasuke, bury him in the ground. Sakura would come trying to help him, and seeing Sasuke's head in the ground, she would immediately pass out. Naruto, after seeing this, would decide that the only thing he can do now is fight, I guess. So, what does Naruto do? He immediately uses the body flicker to get right behind Kakashi and try to snag the bell. He touches it slightly, but Kakashi would get out of the way and kick Naruto square in the face, sending him crashing into a tree, leading Naruto to hold his face and be like, ugh. As he looks back up at Kakashi, and Kakashi's like, hey there, what you doing? And Naruto would just look back at Kakashi and be like, okay, fine. You wanna play these games? We'll play. And Naruto after this would literally go on to close his eyes as he then taps into the power of Kurama, his eyes turning a crimson-like color and looking at the direction of Kakashi. As Kakashi would say, what the? And Naruto would blitz at him and snag the bells, right? He snags him so fast before Kakashi could even have whipped out his Sharingan, and Naruto just has them in his hands, right? But Kakashi would turn into smoke, and so would the bells. And Kakashi, who was off somewhere else reading his Make Out Paradise series, would realize that he better get serious. So he steps out with the Sharingan and he rushes in at the direction of Kakashi, with both of them throwing taijutsu attacks, and Naruto saying, "Fine, you want to play hard to get? How's this?" As he simply jumps up into the air and says, "Earth style, Earth Dome Jutsu," as a gigantic Earth Dome would appear in front of Kakashi, and Kakashi would find an opening at the top as it was forming. Kakashi would jump up using a Chidori to pierce right through it, and after this, he would see Naruto in the air as Naruto would say, "Fire Phoenix style," Fire Phoenix Jutsu, as a gigantic phoenix-like creature would rush at him so fast that Kakashi would not have enough time to react, and he would have to use the substitution jutsu. After this, when Kakashi's about to land on the ground and get some open space, Naruto would say, "Water style, water submersion jutsu," or something like that, right? He would pretty much just flood the entire area, and Kakashi would be submerged underneath a ton of water, leading to Kakashi not being able to get stable footing, and Kakashi to actually slip up and lead Naruto to actually blitzing in and almost grabbing the bell, had it not been for the fact that Kakashi would pretty much in this water would activate a Chidori, and he would do so after using his substitution jutsu. So when Naruto lunged into the water, he got electrocuted by all that water as if electric eels had just gotten all over him, right? Kakashi looks back at the defeated Naruto, and he would wonder how in the world he was able to access that strange power. Like, that demon's power should not be accessible to anybody. Like, how did Naruto do that? But he doesn't have time to ponder on that, and instead what he actually ends up doing is tying Naruto to the tree. Once he does this, Sakura and Sasuke a couple of minutes later would appear next to him, and they would both actually get food. It's at this moment that Kakashi would wait by the trees and pretty much begin to observe what they're going to do. Naruto looks to the direction of Sasuke and tells him that they have to work together. Sasuke looks at Naruto as Naruto's stomach growls, and Naruto looks at him and he says, "We have to work together, Sasuke. I just tried my hardest and I couldn't even get close to those bells. Sasuke, we all need to work together. That's the only way we're gonna get those bells. I can go back to the academy, but you two need to get the bells. Someone needs to pass at the very least. All three of us can't go back." And Sasuke looks at Naruto and says, "So you'll stay back for me to pass?" Naruto looks at him and says, "Of course I will," with his stomach growling again and saying, "But I need some food." As you know, he gets a little shy and Sasuke is like, "Oh, I'm not gonna spoon feed you." But he pretty much ends up having to do it, and Naruto eats a bit, leading to Kakashi coming out of the bushes and being like, You passed, right? And suddenly the team is shocked, and this is all immediately followed up by about 2 weeks worth of D-rank missions. Now, D-rank missions consisting of doing people's laundries, walking old ladies down the street, catching cats that ran away. It'd be very, very tragic. Weeding somebody's backyard. Those are the missions that they're doing. And it's very sad, but it is what it is, right? But all of that out of the way, what pretty much ends up happening after this is Naruto would finally speak up and ask for a C rank mission. Hiruzen, after seeing the hard work that they've put in and the ranking that Naruto is and how powerful he truly is, he would decide that there would definitely be no harm into letting Naruto try to complete a C rank mission. Not thinking that Naruto would actually be able to go through with it completely, but Hiruzen will be severely shocked. He would give them the C rank mission of guarding Tazuna the bridge builder, and the very next day all of them would meet by the bridge, getting ready to pretty much embark on this said quest, right? They end up making their way towards the land of the waves, and Tazuna would pretty much introduce himself to the team, and all of them would walk forth. About an hour would go by, and it's at this point that essentially the two demon brothers of the random village that they're from would pop up and begin to essentially try to attack at Tazuna. This happens just like it does in the original, with Kakashi pretty much faking his own death, and Sasuke lunging in at one of the demon brothers to essentially protect the bridge builder. Naruto's instincts would kick in, and immediately Naruto would kill one of the members of the demon, one of the demon brothers, or sorry, he wouldn't kill him, but he would pretty much how do I, he would restrain him. Yeah, that's the word. Sorry, I mentally zoned out for a second. He would pretty much restrain the demon brother, and after this, Kakashi would reveal himself, only to pretty much begin to question Tazuna, who would then go on to guilt trip them into completing the mission. It's pretty funny, but it is what it is, right? Eventually, a couple of hours would go by, and it's at this moment that they all are encountered by one of the legendary swordsmen of the mist, Zabuza Momoichi. After this happens, Zabuza throws his sword at the direction of the team, and he then appears to do his introduction that he would in canon. The Kakashi vs Zabuza fight happens just like it does in the original, and once he's actually captured by Zabuza, Naruto, instead of creating a plan with Sasuke, would simply decide that it's about time that he did something. So Naruto rushes towards the direction of the water and says Twin Dragon Jutsu, as two water dragons appear from the water and lunge at the direction of Zabuza, leading Zabuza to have to let go of the water prison jutsu, wondering to himself how a genin is able to perform a high level jutsu such as the water dragon jutsu. That kind of jutsu should not be performed by a genin, much less some kid that's probably on his first mission. He's absolutely, like, the dude is flabbergasted pretty much, and he's just wondering how in the world this genin was able to even accomplish anything close to this. By the way, guys, sorry if you guys hear like these strange noises like this, but it's just because I'm messing around with the water bottle while I'm recording. Granted, I probably shouldn't be doing that, so I'm gonna put it down. But yeah, that was the strange little noises you guys kept hearing. Anyways though, what pretty much ends up happening following this is we get a 2-on-1 where Naruto and Kakashi go full out on Zabuza, and they're pretty much just having the sound effects in the background of fight back, you know what I mean, in the background, as Zabuza is getting absolutely curb stomped by them, and eventually would get saved by Haku himself, who ends up saying that he's a mist tracking ninja. After this happens, we basically get a situation where Naruto and Sasuke are both forced to drag Kakashi back to the village. Now, obviously Naruto and Sasuke would both be carrying him at first, but Naruto would just decide that it would be a lot easier to just, as he creates shadow clones, and the shadow clones proceed to carry Kakashi back to Tazuna's house. They arrive only to be greeted by Inari, the snub-nosed brat, who would go on to tell them that there's no point in them being here, that they're only gonna die. And this would lead Naruto to get kind of irritated, but he realizes he's just a kid, he doesn't know what he's talking about, and so he would go outside for a moment of fresh air. In the woods, Kurama would tell Naruto that his performance out there today was kind of sloppy, that before he would have performed way better than he did today, with Naruto saying that he has something on his mind, and Kurama would ask him exactly what that is. Naruto would ask Kurama a simple question, which would actually cause Kurama to stop and think about it as well. And Naruto would ask Kurama why he felt the need to inject this chakra into Kushina. Kurama would pretty much stop to think about this for a second and think about his response, as Kurama would say, "Kid, you're not gonna like the reason, but there's no reason for me to lie to you. At the beginning, I did it to be petty to your mother and father. I was the beast hidden inside of them, as they were the Jinchurikis, and practically I hated being there. I wanted to be free, not restricted to not restricted to be somebody's Jubi or Jinchuriki. It's not what I wanted. So, to be petty, I injected a lot of my chakra into you when you were being born, and that's how you became 1/3 my son." Naruto looks up at Kurama and just asks him one simple question. "I know that was your intentions at first, but what are they now?" Kurama laughs before letting out, "To lead you down a good path, kid. What else would I ever want for my son?" But Naruto would simply smile and pretty much say, "That's what I thought. I'm glad that was really the answer you gave me, Kurama. I was starting to get worried there for a second." He gives him his classic cheesy smile, and Kurama would, pretty much just bump fists with Naruto, as Naruto just goes back into the real world and Sasuke is looking at him behind a tree, with Naruto simply saying, "Well, I'm glad Kurama's not betraying me." And Sasuke, after hearing this, would be like, "Who's Kurama?" But Naruto would begin walking past, and he would notice that Sasuke is nearby, going on to ask Sasuke what he's doing there, with Sasuke asking that he could say the same thing. and Naruto would simply say that he was simply out here to catch some fresh air and maybe train a little bit, but he got hungry, so he's heading back. Sasuke would say, I bet he did get hungry, but who's Kurama? And Naruto, after hearing this from Sasuke, would simply say, oh, it's my imaginary friend. Sasuke would say, imaginary friend? And Naruto would laugh before saying, of course it's not an imaginary friend, dude. It's somebody, but somebody that's none of your business. Sasuke would get angry after hearing this from Naruto and would tell him that he better tell him. But Naruto says that he has his secrets and he has some as well, and to just leave it at that. Sasuke after this would pretty much grit his teeth, knowing that he's not going to just be able to physically force it out of Naruto. So he simply has to sit there and just let Naruto do whatever he wants. Eventually what would happen though is pretty much the next day would roll around and more days would come until eventually Kakashi would find himself more than fine to operate on the mission, which would essentially just lead the entire squad to pretty much get ready for the attack that Zabuza was going to be having on them, with Kakashi knowing that Zabuza's most likely not dead. Eventually that day would roll around and things would pretty much play out just like they would in canon up until the point when Sasuke begins to get trapped by the ice prison jutsu. In the original, Naruto would have jumped inside of this said ice prison jutsu and would have had to have been getting impaled by these Senbon as well as Sasuke to even get close to defeating Haku, right? That's pretty much the situation that they found themselves in canon. But this time around, things are a little bit different, because Naruto now has access to one entire tail of the Kyuubi's power, which means that he's easily going to be able to keep up with Haku. He's able to easily smash the ice crystal mirrors and quickly be able to pretty much punch Haku into submission with these insanely fast and powerful hits that he would land on him, which would lead for Haku to be taken out of the equation and then eventually leap into the way of, oh my god, I hate when this happens, Kakashi's Chidori, right? He would leap in the way of it, leading to the same situation that happens in canon with Naruto's Talk no Jutsu legendary moment and Gato and his men being savagely killed by the legend himself, Zabuza, right? Zabuza himself would rush in there, kill them all, and after this, the mission would be completed, leading to Team 7 returning to Konoha. Jumping back into the story exactly where we left off, we pretty much just cut to Kakashi and Team 7 pretty much briefing Hiruzen on the mission, about how they encountered Zabuza of the Hidden Mist, and how they encountered a ninja with a ice-kicking Genkai. Hiruzen seemed very intrigued by this, but the thing that he was mostly intrigued by was the fact that Naruto seemed to have full control over the power of the Nine Tails. He would go on to tell Kakashi to pretty much inform the rest of the members of Team 7 if they could get out, and they would all have a talk, with even his Anbu members being, told to, get out of that area, right? It's at this moment that Hiruzen would ask Naruto if he can actually control the power of the Nine Tails, or specifically if he knows what he even did. Naruto looks to Hiruzen and tells him that he's not about to lie to the Hokage, so he just simply tells him that he's actually in contact with the Kyuubi, and also the fact that he can actually control it, that he's not evil and that the Kyuubi has a name, so use it. It's Kurama. After this, Hiruzen would immediately begin to think to himself, it's as I feared, right? But Naruto would look back to the direction of Hiruzen as he would tell him not to worry, that he has full control over the situation and that he can trust him. Nothing bad's gonna happen. Hiruzen looks to Kakashi and tells him that he can control his student, right? Kakashi would, have a smile on his face, and he would look to Hiruzen as he informs him that it shouldn't be much of an issue. After this, the entirety of Team 7 would go on to disband for the day, and following this, they would meet each other once again the day of the Chunin exams. Once there, Sasuke would obviously get bodied by my god, his name escapes me, Rock Lee, right? And after Lee pretty much just goes on to embarrass Sasuke in front of his squad and everything like that, we just get this really, really cool scene where, how do I put this? Why does this always happen? I always get these moments where I'm just like, like what do I want to happen? Because like I script the first part of these what ifs a lot of times, and then after that I just listen to them again and just keep talking because it's like I couldn't be bothered. But let's see. So obviously Sasuke still gets bodied by Rock Lee. Team 10 pretty much walks away, as in my guy squad, and we basically get the situation with Naruto pretty much claiming that he'll never give up regardless of him not being able to pass the test, the written portion at the very least. And after this, they would find themselves outside in the forest. Now I'm going to be cutting all the unpleasantries and just skip to the point in time where Orochimaru is actually in the presence of Team 7. I see this going down pretty much similarly to how it does in canon, just due to the fact that Naruto, even in the original event, still had his Kyuubi like cloak thing on. It wasn't a full tail, but it was just a cloak. But this time I'm going to be saying that Naruto was able to muster one entire, almost two tails of the tailed beast's chakra. And so this actually caused Orochimaru a little bit more trouble than he would have expected. So this would lead him to have a bit of a harder time in terms of sealing the Kyuubi back up and like restraining him, but he would do so nevertheless. And once this is done, Naruto would wake up to the side of Sasuke pretty much about to break one of the members' teams of the other squad's arms. Once he sees this, he pretty much goes on to look towards the direction of Sakura, who's able to briefly be able to calm Sasuke down and make it so that he didn't commit a mistake of killing the team. That said, they all eventually find themselves inside of the tower, where Sasuke goes on to ask the team not to say anything about his curse mark, but Naruto would say that he can't do that, and he would go on to spill the beans about it, leading to his curse mark getting sealed by Kakashi, and then pretty much going on to essentially just go get to the infirmary after his battle, of course. Now Naruto, following this event, would actually go on to fight Kiba. And the way that I see this going is a lot easier and a lot more simpler than we would have seen it in canon. I mean, Naruto this time around actually has finesse when it comes to his taijutsu, has a variety of range when it comes to his chakra control, and in general is just a much more skilled combatant than a homeless dude with a dog, aka Kiba. So I'm just going to be stating very simply and bluntly that Kiba gets folded like an omelet, alright? And after this, Naruto has exactly 1 month to train. Now obviously Sasuke goes off to train with Kakashi like he would in the original. This time around Sakura goes off to train with Kurenai in terms of Genjutsu, and Naruto would continue to pretty much go to the direction of Hiruzen and ask if he can do anything about this seal that, Orochimaru placed on him. This time around, instead of Jiraiya being the one to use the 5-prong seal and fix the thing, Hiruzen would actually be the one to do so. He would use the jutsu and it would actually end up weakening the seal so that Naruto would actually have access to Kurama once again, and Naruto would thank Hiruzen, going off to train and relax one day, making his way towards the water saunas and stuff like that. Once there, he ends up bumping into the pervy sage Jiraiya, and it is at this moment that events from the original events of Naruto would pretty much begin to align themselves. Jiraiya doesn't have to have the need of teaching Naruto water walking, so instead the only thing that Naruto ends up having to learn from Jiraiya is quote-unquote controlling the Kyuubi, but that's not a thing. So instead, Naruto's actually offered up the jutsu of the 4th Hokage Minato way earlier, aka the Rasengan. Not only that, but once Jiraiya begins to teach Naruto about the summoning jutsu, Naruto would explain that he already actually has a summoning contract with the with foxes. And Jiraiya's like, foxes? Naruto's like, yeah, look. He summons one of his, medium level summons. Like, it's not like that big, but it's not small either. So it's like a pretty good size. And Jiraiya's like, well, kid, I don't know what else I could teach you other than the Rasengan. He begins to pretty much just teach Naruto a bit more in terms of chakra control, maybe teach him a couple of sealing jutsus, but other than that, I don't really think Jiraiya would teach him that much. So I'm just going to be saying that instead of pretty much teaching him, they bond. And Jiraiya is actually, caught off guard when Naruto asks him where he's been all these years, with Naruto knowing that that's his godfather, because Kurama inside of him would be all like, Naruto, that's your godfather. And obviously he knows this because he was inside of Kushina when all those events went down. So Naruto pointing this out to Jiraiya would make Jiraiya spit out his drink and be like, how did you? And Naruto says, oh, I'm in contact with the Kyuubi. That's how I got the fox summoning scroll. And you know, that's how I got this deal. And Jiraiya is just like, right, Naruto. Okay, well, I was doing missions. I was basically working on my spy network. Naruto would look at Jiraiya and tell him that he's not mad if that's what he thinks, that he doesn't blame Jiraiya for pursuing his job and doing the things that he has to do, that Naruto understands the life of a ninja doesn't come with that many perks, so he'll let it slide for now, but he has to teach him another awesome jutsu one of these days. Jiraiya would chuckle and say, haha, you remind me just like your father when he was a kid. And from here, they both pretty much go on to essentially go their separate ways when Jiraiya has to go off on a mission really quickly and Naruto goes off to the Chunin exams to face off against one of the prodigies of the Hyuga clan, Neji Hyuga. The battle pretty much changes a whole lot because this time around Naruto isn't sitting there with uncertainties as to how to face off against Neji. Instead, Naruto would try one very quick thing before deciding to do another thing. Obviously, the first thing that Naruto would do is try long-range jutsus, but Neji would actually pull out the spiral jutsu, like the counter-attack thing, and it would be more than enough to actually block any of the jutsus that Naruto would try to shoot at Neji. So Neji would smirk and begin getting extremely cocky, saying, I should have been one of the top Hyuga, right? He would have been beginning to spout out nonsense about destiny, about how, people are tied to their fates. And Naruto would begin to tell Neji that while that may be true, he doesn't get to decide that. And so he pretty much closes his eyes and then reveals the power of the Nine Tails, rushing in at the direction of Neji before both of them begin engaging in hand-to-hand combat. Neji's keeping up just due to his raw hand-to-hand speed and ability to actually dodge, but Naruto is pretty much overwhelming him, and every single time that Neji parries one of his blows with his arms, it feels like a truck just ran over his entire arm. Naruto is hitting so incredibly hard, he's pretty much beginning to shatter his hands. So this would lead Neji to eventually begin getting overwhelmed and Naruto to have the perfect opportunity to launch a Rasengan straight into the abdomen of Neji, sending him crashing into the wall and getting Naruto to be pretty much announced as the winner. After this happens, everybody would begin to cheer up in the stands and Naruto would have a slight smile on his face, thinking to himself that, this is perfect, honestly, that this is incredible. And so what would end up happening following this situation is we basically get Naruto moving on to the next stage of the Chunin exams. Obviously then we have the party pooper Gaara come in and pretty much turn into his tailed beast form, running out, leading to Naruto and Sasuke to chase, and the event that happens at the end pretty much happening almost like it would in canon, right? Naruto ends up having to fight Gaara at the end of the day. He ends up using one of his gigantic fox summonings. It looks a little bit like Kurama, but its fur is way lighter. It's like a white fox. It's able to claw onto the skin of Shukaku, or its sand, and Naruto was able to rush up and bam, just headbutt the ever-living life out of Gaara, right? This would lead Gaara to finally change his perspective on other people and finally have that character change that he had been needing for so long. By the way, speaking of Gaara, I don't know if you guys have seen the guy by the name of CJ the Champ or something like that, but he makes videos on Black Air Force activity. All I'm gonna say is Gaara needs to be part of the Black Air Force table. He needs an exhibit A, B, D, and C, because this man is he built different. Anyways, that said, we're basically going to be jumping over to another situation, which is pretty much just going to be the death of Hiruzen. Now, this would still end up happening, unfortunately, just like it does in canon, and with the death of Hiruzen comes the actual retrieval mission for Tsunade. Now, the retrieval mission for Tsunade essentially begins just like it would in canon, except this time around, Naruto was actually asked by Jiraiya a lot more about the Nine Tails and how exactly he came into contact, asking Naruto why it is that his hair is orange, because he didn't expect something like that to happen. I mean, maybe because of the fact that, Minato's hair is yellow and Kushina's red, so, maybe that could make orange, but it's unlikely. He would have either been a blonde or a red hair. And Naruto would simply state, oh, that's because Kurama is actually 1/3 my father. Jiraiya, after hearing this from Naruto, would be like, what? And by the way, guys, excuse me, but I have this delicious snack that was just brought to me, and I gotta snack on this, bro. I'm sorry. Oh, it's spicy. Oh, it's spicy. I need water. Jesus, I need water. Oh my God. Okay, much better. I'm not doing that again. Oh God. That was spicy. Okay, not cool. Not cool, not cool, not cool. Oh. Oh, the people watching this are probably gonna think I'm a weirdo. Anyways, so the story continues, right? The show must go on. Eventually, we get to the point in time where Itachi and Kisame both end up rushing Naruto. And as much as I would love to say that Naruto at this point in the story is able to like keep up with Itachi, you know, he's able to like, because of the fact that he has the 9 tails, he's able to slightly keep up with Kisame and Itachi. I'm not even gonna lie to you boys. Itachi at the age of like 14 was able to body Orochimaru. So Orochimaru, who bodied Naruto with the 9 tails at 4 stage, it's not happening, guys. Unless Naruto had the abilities of KCM, which would make it a whole different story. But he doesn't have it yet. So he's still not able to keep up with them, and he pretty much has to wait for Jiraiya to come save him, using the Toad Mouth Jutsu to essentially make Itachi and Kisame run away with their tails between their legs. Obviously, Sasuke would have gotten traumatized by his big brother, who pretty much showed him the vision of his parents dying for like the millionth time, which like, bro, if you want your little brother to hate you, like steal his food, bro. Don't show him an image of you killing his parents over and over. That's not cool. Anyways though, guys, so pretty much what ends up happening, can we just talk about how much of a menace Itachi is? Like, the dude literally slaughtered his little brother's parents and then showed it to him. Like, that's devious. Like, he just had to see that one time, bro. Like, he did not need to go to sleep with that thing in his mind every day. Like, when you think about it like that, it starts to really make sense why Sasuke is the way that he is and why he hates his brother so much, right? Because as much as we could say, oh, he's an emo boy, like, I would become emo too if my brother showed me him killing my mom and dad 100 times, maybe 1,000, a million. But yeah, regardless of that said fact, Naruto and Jiraiya are basically able to go encounter Tsunade, and once they do, they end up pretty much having to fight up against Orochimaru and Kabuto. In the original, Naruto was able to do a lot of help when Tsunade fought against Kabuto. This time around, Naruto bodies Kabuto. He ain't not playing no games. Naruto comes in and he's like Rasengan, Kabuto dodges, and Naruto comes out of the earth, literally like popping up, and is like Rasengan straight to this man's jaw. He sends him flying, and Orochimaru and Kabuto retreat with their tails between their legs. The end. We jump back into the story after the time skip, and after all of this had pretty much happened. The reason that I'm not pretty much covering the Sasuke retrieval mission is just due to how unbelievably easy it is. The second that Naruto and Jiraiya and Tsunade end up returning back to the village, Jiraiya looks to Naruto and he pretty much tells him that it seems like he has the power of Kurama under control. So he pretty much ends up giving Naruto the key, to which Naruto pretty much goes on to use said key to rip off the seal of the 9 tails, right? The 9 tail seal pretty much gets taken off, and after this, Naruto is finally able to gain full access to KCM. Not KCM2 because he still doesn't have Sage mode, but he does get access to the full cloak of the 9-tailed Bowers, okay? And with that said fact, we then get into a situation in which obviously like about 1 week later, Sasuke is persuaded by the Sound 4 of Orochimaru to essentially go searching for him in search of, well, power, right? Sasuke, being the emo boy that he is, would of course immediately be like, power, what, where, power? I can get power? I'm down. And obviously, us knowing the way that Sasuke is and his character overall, we know that he's definitely going to be with the shits, right? So he's going to go towards the direction of Orochimaru, and pretty much events just go a lot easier than they would in canon. I'm going to break this down for you. The members of the Sound 4 squad are pretty much effed in the most major way possible. Naruto was able to essentially rush in there and blitz each and every single one of them. Jirobo, forget about it. That girl with the flute, dead. The guy with the spider webs, dead. The guy who can multiply, dead. Kimimaru, Kimimaro would actually kind of put up a bit of a fight if he activated his second stage of the curse mark, but I'm gonna be saying that after he activates that, his death was sped up and he wasn't able to keep it up for more than like a minute. So dead. And finally, Naruto ended up catching up to Sasuke. Mind you, he might have even done it even faster than in the original. And when Sasuke looks to Naruto with a Sharingan activated, he just like gets angry because he knows that Naruto is so much stronger than him, and no matter what he does, he's literally never gonna close the gap. Sasuke from here goes on to tell Naruto that he wouldn't be so powerful without his, well, tailed beast. And Naruto looks at Sasuke before telling him that he wouldn't be powerful at all if it wasn't for that curse mark that he got implanted into himself, if it wasn't for those Sharingan that he was born with luckily. He then looks at Sasuke and says, I was born with Kurama, you were born with the Sharingan. These are not things that I chose to get added to me. You chose to need something in order to catch up to me, and still, you're not even half the ninja that I am. Sasuke grits his teeth, rushes over to Naruto, and I ain't even gonna lie to y'all, bros. I'm not even about to sugarcoat this. Naruto grabs his arm and punches him in the stomach one time, completely knocking Sasuke's wind out of its body. And then Naruto grabs him, puts both of his arms behind him, and then pretty much pulls a WWE power slam into the water, leaving Sasuke to be completely overwhelmed by that. Get up, try to fight back, but obviously Naruto was not having it. So he slams the Rasengan into Sasuke's back, pretty much paralyzing the man for the time being, and dragging him back with pretty much his spine shattered, right? After that, Sasuke was forced to essentially remain in the village and train under Kakashi Sensei, and let's just say that he pretty much remains as strong as he would have in canon. Naruto still ends up going off on his training journey with Jiraiya, but due to the fact that he already has his basics mastered as well as the power of the Nine Tails under control, he was able to essentially just learn Sage Mode, the Rasen Shuriken, the Big Ball Rasengan, as well as a couple of Jiraiya's essential jutsus, and was even able to develop KCM 2. So we now have a Naruto who has almost basically the same experience of the one that we got in the War arc a lot earlier. So what does this mean? This essentially just means that all of the events of Naruto that would have played out like in the original essentially are still going to play out, such as the battle between Naruto and Kakuzu, except obviously Kakuzu's gonna die now because Naruto's gonna be able to just throw the Rasengan at him, so that's gonna be simple. Sasuke versus Itachi, come on now, like let's not play no games. It's literally gonna be the only threat to Naruto, if we could even consider it that much of a threat, because Obito, mind you, is not going to be having the Rinnegan yet. So it's basically going to go down like this. Naruto essentially goes off and defeats Kakuzu, Shikamaru defeats Hidan, and after that situation happens, I didn't really mention the Kazekage retrieval mission, but that's just because of the said fact that I didn't want to. Like, I'm just going to put it to y'all like that. I didn't want to. Now, ask me the question. Xehther, why did you not want to? I'm tired, guys. I can't do this. It's exhausting being up at 3 a.m. Now I know it's my fault. I 100% agree with y'all. I know it's my fault, but it's so tiring. You're still gonna watch this video, right? Anyways though, so basically what ends up happening is obviously the Kazekage retrieval mission still goes down like it would in the original. Nothing really changes there. Naruto's able to pretty much speed blitz Deidara before he even gets out of the cave. Sasuke is obviously there, so he's able to help out against Sasori. So essentially they just have a lot more power when it comes to who they're fighting in the village. And when Naruto and Sasuke go off to face off against Itachi, and Obito tries to, well, kidnap Sasuke and pretty much give him the ideals of Itachi and tell him the truth, Naruto's actually there to fight off Obito, and this would actually be a very interesting battle. We saw how this would go down if Obito had the Rinnegan in his eye and he had the white mask and all that stuff, but we don't know how that battle would have gone if Naruto was there with all of the abilities that he had, was a better ninja overall, just because of the fact that he, well, is just a better ninja in terms of his basic abilities and stuff like that. He's had the same amount of training like he would have in the original, and most likely even more experience. So we end up just getting this way more powerful Naruto that's more with the shits than in the original, and we pretty much get this really evened out battle where it's pretty much whoever is able to touch the other person first wins. So it's very, very similar to the battle between Minato and Obito, but it's a lot different due to the fact that Naruto doesn't have the flying Raijin. which basically means that they essentially end up stalemating with each other, and Naruto simply decides to grab onto Sasuke and blitz out of there before Obito even gets the chance to ruin what Naruto has planned. And by planned, I pretty much just mean him escaping with Sasuke. They end up obviously escaping. Killer Bee is still captured, but it's not by Sasuke Uchiha, so the Cloud Village doesn't have a reason to point fingers, and essentially the Fourth Great Shinobi World War is essentially commenced just like it would in the original. Naruto would still have to unfortunately go off to meet Killer Bee, and from here events pretty much end up aligning as much as they could have in the original, just due to the fact that Naruto at this point is pretty much on par to the one that he would have been in the canonical version of events. So once we get to this point in time, it kind of just becomes a very bland series where we kind of just get the ending be the same. Obviously, I could potentially make a bonus part to this if like the movie version gets really good views and you guys like want me to change the ending, like change part 4 and add like an entirely different ending to it where it's just so much cooler. You guys would need to slap like 3,000 likes for me to do that. But if you guys were to do that, then I would of course, fix the ending of Naruto and make everything work way perfectly, right? But until then I don't really know what to do, right? You guys are getting what you get, can't throw a fit. You guys learned this in elementary school. So I think that that's pretty much where we're going to be ending today's what if off. Okay. So obviously Tsunade comes, but Naruto's already even stronger in the original. Nothing changes there. Naruto does get married to Hinata because, obviously Naruhina. It's the best pretty much ship in all of anime. Just kidding. But yeah, overall that's pretty much the conclusion for the video. Let me know what you guys thought down below in the comments. I'm gonna go get some sleep, maybe play some Minecraft because I'm gonna have to edit and render the video. But all in all, I love each and every single one of you guys. Let me know what you guys thought of the what if, and it is your boy Xehther, and I am out. Peace.